the NFL is not going to differentiate how or when you got pressure.
Right.
If the quarterback was ever under pressure on a play, you got a pressure on that play. So we have now played one football game without Micah Parsons, who now is a Green Bay Packer, and we are not going to talk about how the Packer defense looked incredible, and Micah helped them get a sack, a tackle for loss, and an interception when playing less than half the game. We're not going to talk about any of that. We're going to talk about the Cowboys pass rush and what we make of it after 1 week. And I will tell you, I am concerned about the Cowboys pass rush.
You should be.
And we are getting from the chat multiple people who have seen the number. Cowboys pressure rate in week 1 over 42%, which was, what was that in the league? Fourth in the league, John? Something like that? It was tough.
I think it was third.
Fourth in the league, something like that. So the Cowboys pressure rate is top 5 in the league.
Mm-hmm. Sixth
in the league through week 1. Now we're going to teach you how to interpret numbers. 3-second time to pressure. What that tells you is that the NFL is not going to differentiate how or when you got pressure.
Right.
If the quarterback was ever under pressure on a play, you got a pressure on that play. You did it. The Cowboys did not pressure Jalen Hurts because the Cowboys were getting after the quarterback. The Cowboys pressured Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts wasn't scared of you in any way, shape, or form.
Correct.
The reason that Jalen Hurts was able to scramble so well is because he was not scared to do it. He was willing to stand in that pocket for 3 seconds, look, and then unlike what happened to Jared Goff when he took off, and here come that he didn't even know existed and definitely didn't know was that fast. Hurts knew there was no one on this team that was going to run him down.
Right.
So he was willing to stand in the pocket, have the longest time to throw in the NFL this week, and he wasn't worried about you. It wasn't under pressure because you were getting close to sacking him. It was under pressure because he stood there all day until somebody finally got to him. And he was like, well, I guess it's time to go. So, yeah, I am worried. To me, technically Sam Williams had the most pressures on the team. I think Dante Fowler is the best pass rusher on this team.
Yes.
And I think if he were, Vach said this on the postgame, if Dante Fowler was my second best pass rusher, he said that would be great. I think that would be fine to good. If Dante Fowler's your second best pass rusher, that's fine, maybe even good. If he's your third best pass rusher, let's go. If he's your best pass rusher, yeesh. And I think that over the course of the season is going to bite him. I don't know who's going to get home. I don't know who's going to. I know they're going to scheme pressure, and some people are looking at the numbers from this week and be like, see, they schemed pressure. They schemed pressure if you mean Jalen Hurts stood there and waited till you got close and then finally was like, fine, I guess I'll run now.
Right.
That was not pressuring the quarterback.
Part of the dirty of that as well, Jeff, is that by the way that they measure pressure, a pressure can register 8 yards outside the pocket after he's already bailed from the pocket.
Oh, okay. So the times when you would stand there forever, then jog out, and then...
So when you look at the teams that had the longest time to pressure in the NFL this week, 3.44 seconds was the Saints, who'd they play? Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
It's all the guys who, bail from the pocket before there's even pressure, and then the pressure registers by the sideline, and they're like, 7 seconds to pressure. And
we got them. They got a pressure.
But pressure rate through the roof.
They got
Micah.
pressure. Yeah. I'm worried about our pass rush.
And you should. And that's when Clarence talks about having a plus player, it's someone who has the ability to go out there and make plays by themselves, outside of the scheme, being able to win a lot of one-on-ones. And you just don't have that right now. I know that you have the addition of Kenny Clark, but he is not Aaron Donald. He's not a guy who's going to go out there and win one-on-one battles like that to pressure the quarterback. You know, you brought in Donovan Ezeraku, your second-round pick, who has a lot of pass rush moves.
He played pretty good run defense this week, but he didn't really rush the passer.
The thing that Donovan Ezeraku is realizing now is, I'm not the fastest, I'm not the strongest, and I can't confuse these guys who've been around the league. Now, granted, you went up against Jordan Mailata and you went up against Lane Johnson.
Yeah,
2 of the best, right? And so you might not face 2 of the best every single week, but you will face veteran guys who you have to set your moves up. You have to be able to understand to go from speed to power, to go from power to spin to power. Like you have to be able to throw your changeup in the mix to throw these guys off balance. If you start your move 2 steps away, tackles in this league will just look at you and go, son,
Especially the Pro Bowl ones.
Yeah, the Pro Bowl one, like, son, I saw that in the tunnel. Okay, you can't just do that. And then you need the other guys, like Sam Williams is a guy who just has power and speed and nothing else. And so when he's running down the middle of somebody, once those guys anchor down, you don't come off of that. So it's you don't have the one guy on this defensive line that creates so much havoc and so much pressure by themselves that now you're able to feed off of that. That's why guys, when Micah was here, guys who were C-level players became B-level players.
Right.
Right. And guys who were like, B-level players became B-plus level players because of what the effects that Micah had on the defense, on the offensive line allowed you to do certain things in your own right. And, most guys will tell you having a guy like Micah is how other guys get paid. I'm not saying that Osa didn't have the right
Lucas
to get
Van Ness, who just had the most pressures he's ever had in the game.
I'm not saying that Osa didn't get paid on his own right, but when you have that guy next to you, it makes life a little bit easier for you and allows you to be able to be more effective and more efficient in what you do each and every week. And because Eberflus isn't a guy who likes to blitz a lot or create the different type of pressures, they're not going to find it one-on-one.
We might need to talk to Flus about that real quick. Can I talk to Flus for
You
a
got
second?
it, man. He's going to have to do something.
Hey, Flus. I don't have these numbers in front of me, but I did watch the game. I know you got pressure on like 3 out of 4 dropbacks during this one little stretch. And it was because they just blitzed the corner every time.
Yeah.
But they started running corner blitz. Well, now you had a little something. Now
But
you
find
had
a corner who wants to tackle, though. Find a corner who wants to get in there and get a little dirty.
See, I feel like for a game where I'm trying to think of all the different positives, as I start going through individual players and units, I feel like I'm pointing out a lot of negatives because you're right, and I don't want the fan base to turn on him completely because he's a nice player. Deron Bland don't want to tackle any more than Diggs does. He doesn't. Throughout his career, the numbers back it up. And maybe it's not that he's opposed to it. Maybe he's just not real good at it. Because, well, he's not in a hurry to go get involved.
But this defense is going to expose that. This is why you heard Eberflus talk about, I need more than willing participants. This defense funnels its stuff out to the cornerbacks. It's supposed to, you got to be a willing participant in this thing. You got to be more than a willing participant. And if you have Diggs and you have a Bland who don't want to really get in there and get dirty, it's going to be bad because this defense is designed for your cornerbacks to get in there and get a little dusty and a little dirty.